Hi, I'm Karceno.
Oh, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
No one knows Karceno and none of these.
There's so much going on in the world, and I'm just giving my 2 cents on it. Go in and do a raid at someone's house, but you don't have an arrest warrant for them. Hello there. And I want to let everybody in on something. Everybody hates Malika Andrews. I mean, everybody hates this woman. They don't like nothing about her. They don't like her smile. They have totally turned off on her. When she first came out, though, this woman was starting to talk about the criticism. She did a whole sit-down interview with DeRozan to explain herself and say, I don't hate black men, because everyone looked at her because she's a mixed girl, but they looked at her as black. This is why every sports person's nightmare hired her. We needed somebody to be the black face who's really isn't black. She's half black, half Jewish, and she pretty much, caters to, predominantly whites. She doesn't hang around black people. Only black people she hang with is the people she work with. Other than that, that's it. Then there's the Rachel Nichols debacle with Maria Taylor. And once that went down the way it did, everybody had this fixed opinion about the situation, and all the blacks got activated because we saw what was happening. And we saw Steven Jackson, they all caped for Rachel over Maria Taylor, who's now the victor in the situation. And you see where, Rachel Nichols is today. No one likes Rachel. So black folks got active. And once black folks got active, that's the way it was. Now, when you come to talking about the programming and how it was going to be a fallout, Maria Taylor was leaving. And here's somebody with no experience whatsoever is going to be taking over for Rachel Nichols, because Maria Taylor wasn't going to stick around. Now you got this big old dilemma. Here comes Malika Andrews, right? The young sideline reporter who just got bumped up, and now she's doing interviews, and it's like, oh, we like her, and we were all rooting for her to take over. Now, once this happened with Ime Udoka, everybody really went through the roof with Malika Andrews. She really started to, and they was like, hey, I don't know about this chick. When black folks saw this, it was like, what is she doing? She went against Stephen A. Smith on his own show, First Take, calling into the show and trying to dictate to him and play this feminist angle. And it was really bad, trying to paint him out to be something that he actually wasn't. He was just asking a basic question, which I guess you're not allowed to ask. And the Boston Celtics handled the situation the way they did. Next, Joe Mazzulla, who ended up taking over as the head coach. She comes out and brings up his college career when he had been the assistant coach for the last 3 seasons. She comes out and brings up his playing career in college, an altercation that happened at a bar with a woman, and bring that up, which was settled at the university. He was not punished. He paid it was like a fine, and that was it. And not only did he have a playing career after that, before he went into coaching, he's never had a problem since then. She brought this up like it was just happened yesterday. So they could bring this up. 13 years old, situation. Malika Andrews bring this garbage up that has no bearing whatsoever. No bearing. This is how embarrassing it was. No one cared. So why would they bring this up? Then a player who used to play for the Orlando Magic, Adrian Payne, loses his life where a man kills him. He didn't do anything wrong. He wasn't attempting a robbery or anything. There was an argument, and the man ended up shooting and killing him. Yet, she decided to bring up all of the things he's done wrong in his past that he was acquitted for in the light of him dying in a shooting, which was very unrelated to anything that she was bringing up on the show. But she felt the need to drag this poor Black athlete in his demise. She was done. The Black community was done with her, and to report a death that way, it was disgusting. And again, no one wanted anything to do with her. Then it was bring back Rachel Nixon petitions everywhere. He was trying to prevent a domestic dispute and was shot because of it. Now, he lost his life because of that, and you thought to tear him down. Then the icing on the cake, Brandon Miller, right? Malika Andrews on his draft day brings up an incident involving him just basically bringing a bag to a teammate, not knowing his teammate was going to use the bag to go and commit a murder of some people. It had nothing to do with him. He went through an investigation, was cleared of everything, and it's his draft day, and she wants to mar his draft day with bringing up this on him. The NBA has investigators that vet these situations. He would not be in the NBA drafted if it wasn't for the fact of his innocence. But that don't matter to Malika Andrews. So now it's like you hate Black men. So this is the reputation she's built for herself. And how little she spoke about anything else that they had to make her do in the light of her situation with Dave McMenamin. But when they got to Josh Giddey, they were all quiet, didn't want to talk about it on their show, and everybody called her out on it. And this is all you got was her having a little bit of a response to it that lasted about 30 seconds and said, oh, well, it was a legal issue, so we couldn't really talk about it. Nope, you didn't want to talk about it because he was white. And that's what it looked like. So now Malika Andrews is like the head of all this NBA TV stuff. So naturally, when this Mark Vrabel situation hit, everybody was, man, Malika Andrews is quiet. So with this Mike Vrabel situation, it's just gotten way out of control like a storm. And believe me, there is more of that going on than what you guys would ever know. It is so much more with Mike Vrabel that it is crazy right now. 100% nuts. Now, Now we're going to get to like why we're here. Because I don't want anybody to get confused as to what's really going on. Mike Vrabel and this Diana Rizzoni situation has gotten so far out of control that there's more developments going on. And as this man is allowed to miss the entire draft, because the whole media is there, he's not sitting there at draft day. They're allowing this guy to go out and claim that he's into therapy with his family and all this sob story and violins for Mike Vrabel. He don't get any of the scrutiny that none of the other black athletes got, including M.A. Udoka. Now, here's the situation, though, as it pertains to Malika Andrews, because that was the topic at hand. You know, everybody's attacking her and saying, why not Malika Andrews? You know, like what's going on there? How does this pertain to Malika Andrews and why she's not covering? Why she's not saying anything? Well, here's the news, people. Malika Andrews, I am agreeing and defending her silence. She shouldn't say nothing. And the reason why is because this is football. Malika Andrews, ladies and gentlemen, as much as you want her to cover everything, all of her controversy has been centered around basketball because that's what she's covered. Sports, basketball, journalists. That's it. She does not do football. This is NFL. This is football. This doesn't involve Malika Andrews. So Malika Andrews should not be covering anything with Mike Vrabel, because she don't cover that. Now, if this was a Diana Rizzoni situation covering another colleague, then maybe, but that doesn't, even she was in football and wasn't into basketball. So again, asking for Malika Andrews to say something about this situation that one isn't gonna, or bosses isn't gonna like. Two, it won't show the parity because it's not in her sports. It's just that we want to attack her because we don't like what she did to black folk. So I'm defending her silence. She should be silent. There's nothing for her to say. I mean, she could say it on her own channel, I guess, and give her own personal view on it. But she's not obligated by work to do it because it's not in her wheelhouse. She covers the NBA. Now, what we should be doing and what we should be concerned about and should be talking about is the fact that Malika Andrews is not the person y'all need to be mad at. You should be talking to this white media and why they aren't covering it the way they're supposed to, why they're doing it with kid gloves. Call out these NFL stations that's sitting over here talking about Diana Rizzoni as it's a small incident or barely mentioning it at all, and just saying Mike Vrabel is spending time away from his family for reasons we don't know. No, you know the reason. This was black, whether you had facts or not, it'd be thrown all over the screen. So that's what we're talking about. You got to call out the white media. That's who need to be called out. Malika Andrews is just a plant in the NBA. She's not the problem. The problem needs to go down the line. Mm-hmm. So that's how I feel about it. Malika Andrews is somebody who has been implanted in the situation. The Mike Vrabel situation is getting worse as new information has come out just today, just a few hours ago. I'm serious that one of these kids might not belong to the father. That's the kind of information that's coming out. So we'll be covering all of this. I'm kind of letting it all play out, but yeah, it's a giant mess right now. It's a giant mess. So we'll let that go as it may. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the page, all those wonderful things. And we will definitely get back with you guys directly. I got a lot to go through right now. So we will chat later. Again, don't forget to go to my Patreon, which is Karceno for Life. We do have the Killing of Michael Jackson on there, all parts of the series. So just go in there and you can watch that. I put it at the banner at the very top. So you can start from part 1 and work your way down. We have other stuff on there that's just crushing this month. And for people with jobs, you need to see that video we did over there. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for the super chats. My Cash App, as you see on the banner below, says Karceno, and I'm out.